Hello viewers and friends, horror fans and slasher fans. I'm back at you with another review, and today I'm going to be reviewing a Asian slasher film called Dream Home. This was filmed in Hong Kong and it has Cantonese language English subtitles. Now this is a movie that I'm pretty excited to be talking about today because I've only seen one person show off this movie and talk about it here on YouTube, and that was Spanish Germ, or Adam. He posted a review on it. I checked the review out and decided to check the movie out for myself. So obviously I went ahead and ordered it. I ordered it from Amazon UK, got it a couple of days ago and have checked it out. And I definitely wanted to give my opinions and put the movie a little bit more out there, because I know a lot of people here are into Asian horror and slasher films. So yeah, I'm just going to talk a little bit about the storyline and then give my overall opinions on what I thought of the movie overall. So Dream Home centers around a young woman called Chen. I would say she is mid-20s, and ever since she was a little girl she's had an obsession with a harbour view. She was brought up in a apartment complex that had a really nice harbour view, and throughout the movie you sort of discover why she's so obsessed with having a harbour view, and you know, this obsession has been a lifelong thing for her, and she's even carried it over to her adulthood. And when she was younger, some of the apartments got torn down and some new apartments got built up, and she's really obsessed with living in one of these modern new apartments with a really nice harbour view. That's pretty much all she's interested in. She's not interested in any other apartment other than one with a harbour view. Now she holds down a couple of jobs, or several different jobs actually, to afford this apartment, but it seems no matter how hard she works, no matter how hard she tries to save up, there's just too many obstacles and she can never seem to afford an apartment. She does get close a couple of times, but then something happens and it all goes pear-shaped for her. So a lot of anger and frustration builds up inside her until she can't take it anymore, and she decides to take matters into her own hands and pretty much has the mindset of, if I can't have one of these apartments, then no one else can. So that's the overall storyline to the film. Now it's pretty rare for a slasher movie to have such a deep storyline and plot as Dream Home had. So as the story started, I was pretty excited and really getting into it. So you'd think it'd be a welcome change for a slasher movie to have a pretty deep storyline. Unfortunately, and I really hate to say this, but I've got to be completely honest, it's the film's biggest downfall. Now it's not so much the storyline, because the storyline was good, it was pretty interesting, but it was the way that it was told. It was told pretty much completely in flashback sequences. There were several flashback sequences throughout the movie, and you know, when they first started out it was fine. They were pretty easy to follow, and you know, they ran fairly smoothly with the slasher elements of the film. Unfortunately, as the film went on and more killings took place and the slasher elements of the film really started to kick in, the flashback sequences sort of came thick and fast in some points and were quite confusing and hard to keep up with of where the movie was at, and it disrupted the film. It definitely disrupted the slasher elements of this movie. So that's the biggest downfall to the movie, and it's the only part of the film I can fault. Now yes, it is kind of an important part, but it did not completely ruin the movie for me. The slasher elements were absolutely awesome. Some of the best that I've seen. Now I've seen a lot of slasher movies, and I've got to say, when it comes to kills, this movie had some of the most ridiculously gory and realistic looking kills that I have ever seen. And I've seen a lot of different slasher movies, and yeah, so I don't say that lightly, but in terms of kills, frigging amazing. So despite the way the storyline was told, the slasher elements definitely more than made up for that, and I absolutely loved it. Now, Chen was a pretty interesting character, and I've got to say it was a really nice change to have a female villain as a slasher killer rather than your typical male with a mask targeting a group of teenagers. You know, it was something really, really refreshing, and I really liked her character actually. She did a great job portraying her role. While obviously she was an evil character when she killed people, you really also felt for her during the story elements of the film, because despite her evil nature, she really, really was trying pretty hard to genuinely try and afford one of these apartments. You know, she was hardworking, she held several different jobs, and you know, she was really trying to do the right thing, but eventually it just got too much for her, and she resorted to her more violent side and decided to kill off several different residents of the apartment complex. So I really enjoyed her character. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. The cinematography was also really, really impressive. They did a fantastic job with that. There was a lot of shots, you know, of the different apartments throughout the city, a lot of city landscapes, and yeah, so top-notch cinematography. I really, really enjoyed that. As for the other characters, they were great. In terms of a slasher, they probably had some of the best characters that I've ever seen when it comes to a slasher. I can't really fault any of the characters. They were all really, really good. Now, everyone is probably thinking, what are the kills like? The kills were epic. Some of the most realistic kills that I've ever seen, as I mentioned before, and they were all fairly different. I liked Chen's killing style. She was really, really aggressive. She didn't hold back. She was really, really brutal and violent, which made for some fantastic, gory, and really, really aggressive kills. She used a lot of different equipment. She wasn't a one-trick pony in terms of kills. She used a lot of tools. There was a screwdriver, a hammer, a suffocation. There was one that involved a wooden bed slat. That was probably my favourite kill. That was absolutely awesome, and it looked really, really good as well. But yeah, a lot of different kills. The kills were well paced. There was some at the beginning of the movie, and then obviously they got a lot more frequent as the movie went on. But yeah, unfortunately the way the story was told did let the film down, and you know, really disappointed in that, because if the story had been better told, it would have been an absolutely phenomenal film. Despite that, you know, I really got a lot out of this film, especially the slasher elements. They were some of the best that I've seen, and you know, I really enjoyed them. So for an overall score, I think I'm going to give it a 3.5. I think if they had nailed the story properly, it would have got a 4.5 out of 5 for me, but unfortunately I'm going to have to take a star off it for the way the story was told, because yeah, the flashback sequences, especially the further it got into the movie, just disrupted the film too much, and yeah, so that was unfortunate. But in terms of the slasher elements, top-notch stuff. I really, really enjoyed it. Definitely going to hold on to this film. I thought it was absolutely brilliant, and yeah, I'm going to give it a lot more repeated viewings. So I definitely recommend Dream Home to any fan of Asian cinema, or especially to slasher fans wanting something a little bit different to your average slasher. Definitely check out Dream Home. But guys, just keep in mind the storyline isn't the best in terms of the way that it was told, and it is a little bit disjointed and does disrupt some of the slasher elements. But if you can look past that, you're in for a real treat, slasher fans. Dream Home, fantastic if you're big into your gory, brutal and violent kills when it comes to a slasher. So that has been my review for Dream Home. I hope you've enjoyed it, and thanks a lot for watching.